Welcome, guys. Happy Friday. Crypto FUD. Let's jump right into it. All right. So, I'm looking at Bitcoin obviously right now. We're going to look at big caps for right now, this video. And basically, going to be short and sweet. Noticing, I know we're all seeing, it looks like we're consolidating, having a little cool off. We keep dipping a little bit under 23, and then we'll kind of jump up 23.1, and then kind of dip back down. I think what we're seeing with the market right now is uncertainty. We have the Fed meeting coming out this week coming up, I believe the first, second of February, which it would be technically in, a few days from now. So I think maybe this weekend we might be in for a little bit of turmoil, and it most likely will not be to the upside from what I usually take in from prior to the Fed meetings, unless something gets leaked out, which does happen, that they're going to do something crazy and make the markets slightly rally. But always remember, for right now, the Feds do not want a market rally. They don't want the market to crash, but they don't want a rally because that means people are making money and it could lead to a extended inflational period. So they have to, choose their words wisely. They have to make sure that they're not saying exactly what's going to happen so the market can't predict what's going to happen so it can, kind of move accordingly. So what I'm getting to is right now, that's why we have, it's not even, I'm not even going to say down, but if you can see, we've hit this new staircase, and we're kind of just consolidating in this area right here, just like we did at this area and, prior areas. But right now, I think it's just, I don't predict that we're going to see like something crazy jump up, $24,000, $25,000 as of right now, until we get this Fed meeting over with and they kind of see exactly what the Feds are feeling. Because right now we're in uncharted territories because inflation is going down per the numbers that have been released, and we know that there's been mass layoffs, and that's unfortunately what the Feds wanted to see in order for them to really decide what they're going to be doing with increased interest rates and maybe a pause and eventually a Fed pivot. So, where do I think we're at in that whole spectrum? I think we're at a point where they're going to increase this time around minimal 0.25 like they did, I think, last meeting. And I think from there on, as long as the next CPI report, whenever it comes out that we are still on our way down, and if we do perhaps maybe go down more than expected, that could be even more of a better move for the Feds to really say, all right, well, we're going to put a pause right now and we're going to let everything settle in, because even when they increase interest rates, it's a lagging indicator. Basically, it's something where, just like inflation, it doesn't happen overnight. They don't do something and then you see the results a week later. You don't see it for months, how it plays out. So that's where I think we're at. After the Fed meeting, for me, my opinion, what do I think if we do the 0.25 in 0.25 interest rates hike? I think that after that, because this is already kind of priced in, I think the market just wants to make sure and confirm that that's what's going to happen. I think we might continue our journey slowly moving up. I don't think I don't think this is gonna be an overnight thing, guys. I don't think it's just gonna be like, with these crazy jump ups. This right here, this jump up was from people jumping out from the FTX and getting back in. Now that whole thing's it's not over with, but it's behind us for the most part. People in the markets, they get past things pretty quick. It might seem like a long time when you're in the middle of the whole situation, but after like 3 months, it's just like it's old news, and nothing crashed to zero. Let's get back in. Is how they're looking at it. So hopefully we'll get to this interest. We'll get to this Fed meeting soon in the next few days, and we'll see how it goes. I am calling for after the before the meeting. I'm thinking that we're going to see some turmoil, and I say a 60 to 70% chance we're going to probably see a little bit more of a downward movement. Maybe testing some local lows like 22.4 is probably if we do move down. But if we see some good wordage and we do see that they do just the 0.25, then we might see a nice move back up to maybe like a shoot up to like 23.4, somewhere around there, 23.3, like where we've kind of been getting stuck at. That's a spot where we've got some major resistance and somewhere where we need to just really get past. But we're not going to get past it anytime right now until we get past that Fed meeting. So I'll finish with that little rant. The MACD looks like it wants to do a cross towards the downside, and that just kind of coincides with what I've been saying in regards to us maybe seeing some more of a downward movement. I don't think we're going to be crashing down or anything like that, but I think we're going to be stagnant, maybe going down, here and there a little bit, but I don't think it's anything crazy, anything to be really worried about. ADA is the same thing. A lot of these are all going to be the same thing. They're moving with Bitcoin, and basically ADA's sitting at around 37.4. It's the same thing. MACD looks like it's curved down. Looks like it wants to kind of do some of a downward. If you see right here, it's curved down. It looks like we're probably going to be, I think we're going to be teeter-tottering, just like Bitcoin. We're just going to be teeter-tottering. If we do go down and test some new lows, or not new lows, but local lows, we're probably going to be somewhere around 35.2. So maybe that could be a good opportunity just to increase your bags, not financial advice. Solana, kind of the same thing. Solana's really gotten stuck somewhere like around the $24, about $25 mark. And, I think that's because people piled in because it was, like I've always said before, some of these projects really need to hit rock bottom for them to really catapult up. As long as they have a good project and, a good mission behind the coin, then eventually it will, it'll beat all the FUD and it'll, come back up. And that's exactly what Solana did. It was going through a lot with FTX. And prior to FTX, Solana's been having issues with their ecosystem crashing. It crashes. It's not like it's down for days or at a time, but it's down for hours. But imagine if like I'm real big in Chronos. Imagine if Chronos crashed for a few hours and DeFi was down and you couldn't do anything. I mean, it would terrify investors. And that's what is done with Solana for some people. Solana has a lot of diehard people that really believe in the project, and they should, because I think Solana has a good thing going for them. But they just have to, they got to get those quirks worked out with their transaction system and all that stuff. Because I don't know about it, I don't know exactly right now, but when they were crashing and having those issues, 6 months back, it was because they have free transactions on the ecosystem, and basically it was botware where there was like almost like hackers were basically setting up bots to make mass transactions, like millions and millions of transactions at one time, because remember it's free, and it was crashing the system. So you could say that's a bad thing, but you also can say it's a good thing because they're able to learn from that and figure out that their system can't take those mass transactions all at once and figure out why and, critique it. And also they're implementing things to where they're stopping these botware where basically they're going to, I don't know, they might've done it already, but where they're going to enforce some kind of a small fee transaction or transaction fees to where they can kind of, people aren't going to, or these bots aren't going to be doing massive millions of transactions per second. It'll cost them a lot. So they'll stop that. So, like I said, Solana definitely, doesn't look bad. If you look at this chart, they've definitely been moving up. If you look at all these charts, they kind of all look the same. It's just staircases. Right now they're consolidating we're in a spot right now with the Fed meeting coming up where just a lot of investors are just, they want to be on the safe side because this last 15 months has left a bad taste in everybody's mouth, and anything can happen. ICP is probably the only chart I'd say out of all the ones that we just looked at where the MACD is still pointing up. It looks like it wants to it looks like it just wants to shoot off like crazy from what I'm looking at it. How it just looks like it wants to take off, but it's being held back because obviously everything else with the market is basically just paused right now, consolidating. And you could see with ICP, it's sitting there, it's almost doing the same thing, but you could just see how it's just pointing that V pointing where it just wants to shoot up to $6.50, And I think if we get some good numbers from this CPI report and Bitcoin possibly, test some new highs around $24,000, something like ICP and all the other projects we just spoke about, but ICP I'm speaking about right now, we'll definitely see a nice shoot up somewhere around $6.50, possibly getting up to that $7 mark. Remember, I was not giving anybody advice, but I was telling you guys, this is what I'm doing. And I bought in, around $3 and like 60, 70 cents. I bought in multiple times, but added a nice bag, and I'm pretty happy that I did because I've always believed in ICP. They were when they launched, they just went through hell, they shot off, and then it was up to $700 in like days, and then it just crashed, back down to like nothing, and a lot of people just got wrecked, and it just everybody was like it's a Ponzi scheme or it's a rug pull, and it's just like it was completely the opposite. They found out they're pretty sure that FTX had a hand in that, shoot up and crash. So, I know it sounds like conspiracy theorist, right? But, it just makes sense. Makes sense. So I'm going to leave it there. Nothing crazy. Not giving out any like crazy TA today because, we, like I said, when you approach these Fed meetings, it's just so much uncertainty for the most part. So if you ask me, what do I think, as far as like what Bitcoin and everything else that's going to follow Bitcoin, what are we going to do? We're going to kind of do what we've been doing for the last few days. Just basically sitting in this small little channel. And until we approach that meeting, we're going to maybe get some volatility this weekend because we're going to have Sunday, which is always, a sell off for the most part. And we're going to be approaching that meeting. To me, that tells me that we're going to see maybe a small little dip coming up this weekend. So take it from there. Remember, guys, not financial advice. I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday this weekend. I've been monitoring the small cap coins on Chronos. I don't have really much lined up yet because there just really hasn't been too much. But I'm telling you, as soon as we get into this bull market, whenever it does start, we're going to have gems just rolling out, and it's going to be fast, but I'm going to be pointing out a lot of projects where they're going to be 10, 20, 100 X's. So hope you guys have your dry powder on the side ready. Hope you guys are in your positions and you guys are just doing good right now. If you guys have any questions, if you guys want me to check out any of your projects, anything, leave a comment on this video with whatever you guys want me to check out, and I definitely do my research, and I'll definitely 100% devote some time, and we'll check out whatever you guys want me to do. Make sure you guys like if you're not subscribed so you guys can get my videos instantly to your computer, to your phone, however you guys are watching me. I appreciate everything. Hope you guys have a great Friday, and I will be back later. Bye, guys.